안녕하십니까. 저는 이스라엘 대사관 경제무역대표부 이민희 상무관입니다. 바쁘신 와중에 저희 오늘 이스라엘 게임 기술 온라인 세미나에 참여해 주셔서 너무 감사합니다. 저희 오늘 세 개의 이스라엘 기업이 발표를 할 예정입니다. 이 발표에 앞서서 저희가 초대장 보내드릴 때 베레드 박사님께서 원래 참석을 하시기로 하셨었는데 이제 다른 일정이 있으셔가지고 저희가 조금 이번에 모시기 어렵게 되었어요. 그래서 다음번에 저희가 한번 또 모시고 다른 이스라엘에 대한 게임 기술에 대한 얘기를 좀 들어보는 시간 갖도록 하겠습니다. 오늘은 저희 어, 이스라엘 경제무역대표부 한국 대표이신 타마르 코셔 마론 저희 참사관님께서 인사 말씀으로 시작으로 저희 온라인 세미나 시작하도록 하겠습니다. Tamara?
안녕하세요, everyone. I just wanted to thank you for joining our webinar in meeting three amazing Israeli companies in the gaming industry. Mini will be our main focal point for you. Anything you need from the Israeli gaming sector, you can ask her to help in setting meetings or in finding out more information about the companies and more companies. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. 그럼 지금부터 저희 이스라엘 게임 기술 발표 온라인 세미나를 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 저희 세 개의 기업들이 알파벳 순서대로 안주부터 시작을 할 건데요. 저희가 Q&A는 질문이 있으신 분들은 밑에 Q&A 버튼 누르시고 뭐 국문이든 영문이든 질문 남겨주시면 제가 국문일 경우에는 한국말로 번역을 할 예정이니까요. 편하게 남겨주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그럼 안주부터 저희 세미나 시작하도록 하겠습니다. Guy, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Let me start my presentation real quick. Here we go. Perfect. Let me know when you see my first deck.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for arranging this event. My name is Guy Bendov. I'm Executive Vice President at Anzu. Anzu is an in-game advertising network focusing on in-game ads, non-intrusive, that are part of the gameplay. We pride ourselves to be a leader in a new world that generates, or a new channel that generates ad revenue without disrupting the games and really being part of game environments that we're in. If I wanted to take a quick step back, the world of advertising and digital advertising is huge. What's nice about it, that is still growing across the board on many platforms. Mobile obviously has been affecting the growth over the last decade, but it's way more than that. We see opportunities on many medias, especially around games. APAC specifically in general as a region is a major contributor to the growth. We see that specifically in South Korea. We see that across the board with many games. That obviously affected Anzu's budgets, and we've seen tremendous growth over the last 2 years, with last year being another year where we doubled our business overall and were able to deliver major revenues to our publishing partners. Today, Anzu is by far the most advanced in-game advertising platform. We pride ourselves with long-term relationship with our partners. And part of that commitment is also our backers and exclusive partners that are coming from either advertising or from the technology sector. Two major ones from advertising is WPP, the world largest media agency, a network of agencies around the globe work with us and direct revenues from advertisers to games through Anzu. And NBC Universal, which include Comcast, Sky Media in Europe, and other media groups, world largest media company overall. Again, with about 1,000 people on ground all around the world who are representing Anzu's games as they go out and bring in those brands. On the technical side, we have Sony, obviously known from its PlayStation business, HTC, and others that have been joining. Some amazing angels like the founder of Riot Games. All of these are strategic partners and exclusive partners in our own business. I want to start just by jumping in and show you what Anzu is from a developer and a business perspective. What you see here is a game engine called Unity. I assume many of you are familiar with it. We have plugin for Unity, we have plugin for Unreal. And in this short video, you can see that essentially creating ads as part of your game is like creating real-life digital billboards, only it's much quicker. Excuse me. Let me just run the video again. The video itself goes real quick over the main points of the plugin and how we go about it. The scripts are loaded. Decision where the ad placement is done just by creating that area, that space. There's a lot of information that is being provided. And once everything is set up, and it is literally a matter of minutes, an ad can show information about the ad in terms of its placement, its viewership is provided on ground for the developer. And then obviously all that is translated to our servers and to a business for the games working with us. Obviously, I'll be sharing the presentation later. Part of this is our ongoing relationship with Unity. We are actually the first ad network outside of Unity to be approved by Unity. Strong partnership there. Unreal engines and covering custom engines with an API. Major publishers that work with us, like Ubisoft as a group, Saber, part of the Embracer group, and then Zynga, Top Lead, My Games, and many, many others. Over 100 games today work with us and monetize their game with our service. The same goes for brands. Brands really support what we do, not only the excitement from WPP, NBC Universal, many others have worked with us and continue to work with us on an ongoing basis. We work with vendors like Oracle Moat, Comscore, Human, and others to make sure that everything we do is being tracked, is being viewed, both sides, both for the advertiser and the publishing partners that we work with, to make sure all the numbers are verified and approved. In terms of what we do and how it works, obviously, everybody knows about what's called blended display or blended video, those ads, billboards, posters, banners that are just part of the game. They're non-interactive. They're being tracked by views. So the business behind it, it's what's called CPM. We're able to run on an ongoing basis campaigns that are connected to the game, that are connected to an audience, and they're connected essentially to a player. So if you have a player from playing your game from South Korea, they will see an ad from South Korea. If you're playing, if your player is coming from North America, from the United States, they would see an ad that is applicable there as part of the game. Overall, the idea is to make the feeling as natural as possible for the player and not interrupt anything else, the experience itself. On top of the core business of what's called blended ads, we have in-menu ads, we have custom integration, and once in a while, we're bringing in one-off, very big, six-figure, high numbers checks from brands who want really to integrate in a game in a custom way, over levels, over tracks, depending on the game itself. Integration process is very fluid. Other than having a team that works directly with each and every developer group, whether it's mobile, whether it's PC, whether it's console, we work with you to make sure that the design guidelines for best performance are there. The SDK integration on the technical level is done, that there's documentation in your language that are easy to read and understand. And then after the game goes live, that there is an ongoing optimization process that allows your business to grow and overall the growth of this channel. Over time, we had wonderful experience with developers who've been working close with us. We're as proud as AAA publishers working with us and the indies working with us, affecting heavily on their bottom line in a good way, with some developers doubling their monthly revenues from in-game advertising. One thing, especially when it comes to advertising, in Europe and North America, the need to go along the line of very strict guidelines of privacy, data security, and control. This is why Anzu is ISO approved. We're aligning with every guidelines that is out there, and that all translates to our approval in being authorized with game engines like Unity, with platforms like Xbox, with Apple, Google, and others, making sure that we comply with all the relevant guidelines and rules. One thing that we are extremely excited about is making sure user experience is not being harmed. Actually, it's elevated. When we work with developers and publishers, we make sure that the experience of ads is adding to the game, and we're tracking with the publisher all the user feedback. The same way we're usually not going to chase for no reason games that are happening in medieval time or in fantasy areas. We're focusing on sports game, on simulators of cities, on areas that are games that are either casual or replicate one style or another, a city environment, a sports environment. We work with game players to get their feedback and understand the right balance of introducing different type of ads into the games. When it all comes together, it can look like this. This is one of our American football games. You see ads around the field. You see some banners, and this is just one example out of many. If I want to summarize, before I go into the technology, into the over 100 people that we have worldwide, with CEO headquarters in New York, R&D in Israel, people and teams of sales and operation in North America, in UK, in Europe, and it's important to say that we do have a representative in South Korea. We're priding our service on focusing on delivering exclusive, unique budgets to game publishers. We wake up in the morning and say, how can we make additional revenues to developers working with us? The advantage of tech, I won't go into, again, verified by major game engines, verified by networks, the most advanced and most controlled technology that allows you the same comfort of working with a generic ad network and introducing this new channel to your market, to your players, to your games, the transparency, and obviously the different unique partnerships that we can bring in. A very generic way to show you that in-game advertising is actually relevant to a lot of games, whether they're hyper-casual games, action games and sports games, simulators. All these games benefit in different ways from working with us in generating additional revenue channels. With that, I want to thank you, and I understand questions would be at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you very much. 그럼 다음으로 저희 엣지게이밍 발표를 듣도록 하겠습니다. Asaf, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to share the presentation. So Edgegaming is our former name. We're just in the middle of a rebranding. So this is the new name, Ludeo. A quick anecdote. The origin of the name video is to see in Latin. The origin of the name audio is to hear in Latin, and Ludeo means to play. And basically we are a content technology that develops a new type of content that allows gamers to share their wow game moments, their best game moments they want to share with their friends on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or wherever they want, and allows their viewers to instantly become players and play these moments within the game. So I was, as a kid, I was a gamer in ARPGs, shooter games, and many other games that I've played with. The main reason for me and all of the gamers out there to play is basically the social interactions evolved around that, which meaning that when we play, we want to share our moments, we want to feel experiences with our friends, and when we have some amazing moments, we want to show that to the world. So I'm going to show a quick demonstration of this technology and how it works, so make it much more clear. So this is a Ludeo. Imagine you're a streamer or just gamer playing this game, an MMORPG or any other game. You had an amazing moment, amazing scene that you want to share with your friend with just one click. You can capture this moment. You can then specify exactly where you want to begin and the end of this moment, publish that to any social media out there. And here's an example how it looks like on Twitter, for example. So my followers on Twitter are now watching this moment. First of all, as a video, they see my original moment. And then when they click this link, they can instantly get inside the game and play that moment as if they were my character, trying to do things even differently, try to beat my score. They can play that over and over and over in different ways. And basically it creates 1,000 new ways to play the game every day. So it could be played on any device or any game genre. It could be shared on any platform, any social platform out there. Whether the gamers have the game or not, it's something that could be relevant for them to jump inside the game, experience that, and then, of course, if they want to continue, play the full game. So when we are introducing the next generation of content, we understand that for the metaverse gaming and any other virtual worlds experiences, Ludeos are the best fit, because instead of just sharing a moment where people are passively consuming that, now they can share a moment that people are interacting with that, a content that could be really experienced. You can really pass along your emotions and experiences to your followers. So let's see again how easy it is to create this Ludeos. So you play the game, you have this wow moment, you capture this on a single button click, a hotkey, and later on you're sharing that to any social media. This is how simple it is. And because this UGC of creating a playable content is something that takes people 10 seconds, and not weeks of building mods or building, UGC as this today is taking us weeks to build it. And here it's seconds. What we see is an explosion of content, of different content that is being produced every day, different content that is being suggested for players to play the game in endless different ways. And here's the metrics we're measuring already with our gamers and the games we've integrated into. What we see is that when you put Ludeos into gaming communities, it's just like fireworks. It really empowers all of the gamers and the content creators and the community itself. What we see today is that the average amount of times that every player, a single player, is playing a single Ludeo is over 255 times. That means that if I'm watching someone's moment on Twitter or Twitch, and I'm clicking this link, I'm going to play this single moment of 15 seconds for over 255 times. That translates into over an hour of a gameplay from one piece of content. We see already over 25% of day 30 retention. The active daily usage time is over 60 minutes. We have over 50 ecosystem partners. And another metrics that is not mentioned here, but over 50% of the CCV, the concurrent viewers of a streamer, is being converted from passive viewers into active players. So imagine your game, your shooter game, your RPG game, your creators or any player are creating these Ludeos every day. They're creating tens of or maybe hundreds of them, sharing them online to any social media they want. And now over 50% of their followers instantly are being converted into players, not just viewers that are being stuck, in Twitch or YouTube and not really converting into active engaging time within the game. So let's talk about the integration process. It's a very simple and very fast integration, but the value it creates, it's a long value that extends the lifetime of your gamers, allows them to experience more and more content. So first of all, we made sure that this integration, this SDK of ours, is a lightweight SDK. It doesn't interfere with performance or create latency for the gamers. Of course, works with multiple engines, Unity, Unreal, or any other proprietary engine could be customized to that. It's customized also for genres of games. It could be a shooter game, a sports game, MMORPG game. Doesn't really matter for our technology. We've built it to be very scalable. We've built it to be agnostic to game engines and game genres, and of course, game devices. We're taking a lot of steps in towards safe and secured the data, the privacy data of this integration without any interference with your privacy settings. And of course, a lot of data and analytics from this granular data that we're collecting, understanding the exact player's behavior while they're playing. We know exactly what's most engaging moments, what to offer the next gamers, how to develop your next game according to your player's behavior. The value we see today that is Ludeo is giving to the game studios we're working with, first of all, is turning your viewers into players. For the first time in one click from social media, viewers can become players and not getting stuck in some streaming platform. And obviously not the user flow we have today from watching something into playing something is a very long and with a lot of friction user flow. Also, Ludeos are creating evergreen content instead of trying to create new seasons and new content every month to keep up with the pace of the next generation of Gen Z who just want to consume content every day on their mobile or any other place. They're consuming content like TikTok. They want fresh new content every day. Instead of trying to develop that, now your gamers can really step inside and create these moments. Of course, for influencers, what we see today is just a massive weapon for influencers to activate their community, to create monetization in less time of streaming. in expanding the monetization, of course, for the game studios and increasing the user acquisition from the social media into the game itself. So the partnership process, we today are planning to work with 25 studios. We have a few slots left, about 7 slots left. We are choosing our studios according to the relevancy of the game titles. We want to make sure that the concept of Ludeos, the experience of Ludeos, is the best as possible and the fit as possible for your games. So first of all, we would choose the game titles that are most relevant for Ludeo's experience. We would take it back to our game designers. We would create the concept of how it would look like to your community. After that, we can frame the partnership exactly with the developers. We're going to sync with the developers, understand how much time is required. It's going to be a few weeks, not more than that. We're of course talking about the grant. We have a grant plan of giving grant to the studios we're working with, both to promote in the launch, to the marketing, and to the developers for their time, signing the agreement, going to integration process, and then planning the marketing launch. And in the launch, we're working with both our influencers and content creators that we have to promote your game, and we know how to activate your existing content creators and influencers. So we have raised to date $42 million from different industry leaders such as Playtika and Samsung and a few VCs, both from Israel, New York, and the Valley. Our plans for today is to, like I said, increase the number of studios we're working with, to make them enter into this new ecosystem of ours, show the value that we can bring to your games, and then move it on to the next step. I'd be happy to get in touch. Every question you have to answer this and explore new opportunities of how your game could be out there on any social media in an instant and very adaptable to the next generation of how they consume content. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asaf. 저희가 이제 마지막으로 리사이트 발표만 남겨두고 있는데요. 발표 진행하기 전에 좀 안내 말씀 좀 드릴게요. 저희가 그 리사이트 발표가 끝나기 전에 폴을 진행할 건데요. 이 오늘 발표한 기업들하고 미팅을 원하시는 분들이 계시면 그쪽에서 클릭해 주시면 제가 이 발표가 끝나고 난 다음에 추후에 연락드려서 미팅 일정을 좀 잡도록 하겠습니다. 그리고 질문사항 있으시면 언제든지 저희 이스라엘 경제무역 대표부로 연락 주시면 제가 안내해 드리도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 마지막 기업 리사이트 발표 듣도록 하겠습니다. Omri, floor is yours.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Omri. Just a second, I'll set up the deck. So hello everyone, we are Resight, and we are working on augmented reality. And first of all, I am Omri. I'm the CEO and one of the founders, and we are all experienced entrepreneurs. And we have with us also top-notch advisory board, people that actually created some of the most famous augmented reality engines in the world. But I want to, before I start talking about what Resight do, I want to kind of make everything clear and talk about augmented reality and its evolution. So the place that augmented reality is in now is that there is very easy tools to actually take 3D content and put them out in the physical world. If you build something, for example, in Unity and you want to show it on the device out in the world, this is something that is already done and very easy to do. But the problem is that it's only the first step. And the thing that actually makes augmented reality interesting and the metaverse interesting is the interaction between the digital objects and the physical object. And this is still in the first steps of it. The next step is what we call the immersive reality, where the digital and the physical kind of merge together. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So the first example is the next step is, instead of only one person seeing one object out in the world, you can have a group of friends, multiple people, that are looking at the same digital object at the same physical location together. So this is kind of a visual interaction. Then you can go to even more complex interaction, is where you actually interact with the digital object, and you can actually move it around, play with it, leave it in the room over time, and come back to it the next day, and it's still there. So we call this a physical visual interaction, like the girl is that is playing with digital cubes and can come back and build more when she wants to. The next step is what we call real-time interactions. Let's say that there are two friends that want to play with a digital object, a ball in this case, and they want to pass the ball between them. So now the digital ball has to interact with the physical humans, and it has to do that in a very, very fast way. So both the players will see the ball at the same physical location at the same time. Otherwise, if they can play. If I see the ball in midair, but you see it still in my hands, we don't see the same reality. So for interactions that are more and more interesting and more physics-like, you want to have a better technology. So I want to show you a short video of an application that was built with our engine that helps gaining these interactions and basically makes the experience multi-user, real-time, and persistent. So as you can see, these two people, they're just playing around with this digital object, and they both see it in the same time, and each change that the cube is going through, everyone is seeing at the same exact moment. So they can actually sculpture together this cute statue, and this is something that was built on top of our platform. Yeah, I will show you some more videos later. We don't have that much time. So Resight engine is the next step in the evolution of immersive reality. We add interactions that weren't possible before, and this is what we create. So a little bit about the product and the technology. So what the product is actually an SDK. It's a platform that you can have your developers or creators integrate into your product and seamlessly build immersive augmented reality experiences that have all these interactive capabilities that I showed earlier. So just kind of like to put the focus on what Resight is doing that is very unique. So for us, when we're talking about augmented reality, we think about the end users. For the end user to actually use augmented reality and enjoy it, it should just work without the end user having to do anything. It doesn't have to scan the room. It doesn't have to connect to a QR code. It doesn't have to connect to another player that is going to be the host of the game or anything like that. The only thing that you have to do is to open up the application and you are in the experience. So this is the thing that we actually deliver. And just to kind of like touch a little bit about the technology, this is a conversation for another time because it's actually pretty deep technology here. But to actually deliver this kind of interactions, what you need is a very different architecture. Everything that we do is working on the device and not in the servers. And one of the reasons for that is for low latency, privacy, things that you cannot build on top of existing solutions. So I want to give you just an example. So I showed you like the interaction, the real-time interaction with two people playing with a digital ball. But think about this interaction for a second. If, for example, you design the system to work through a server, now every change the ball goes through a server. And if the server sits down in a different zone, it takes a few hundred of milliseconds for the information to follow through. but you are in the physical room looking at a digital object. If it has this kind of high latency, it's actually not possible to even design this kind of interaction. So we built this new technology, new architecture to enable this. And yeah, I will show you just a brief glimpse of what this technology looks like behind the scene. So you can see that basically what happens behind the scenes of the technology is that it creates a 3D mapping of the world, and the way that we do it, it's distributed peer-to-peer 3D mapping that delivers all these kind of different interactions. Okay. So just to highlight a few of the capabilities that we provide, first of all is persistent augmented reality, is the ability to live things over time in the same space and come back a week later and continue the work and continue the game. The ability to find the digital content in the physical environment automatically with no user input whatsoever other than opening the camera app, the app. The minimal latency that enables real-time multi-user interactions, and privacy. I think that if you want to take gaming into people's houses, you have to think about how do you provide them the top-notch privacy, and the architecture that we provide, it's built in, the privacy is built into it. Just to say that we are not alone in this space. As you know, the augmented reality space, metaverse space is growing very fast, and there are many different companies that are working on different solutions, but only our solution has this approach that everything has to be automatic for the end user. And this is our strength. I can, at another talk, explain the differences between us and others. But just for example, our network is a robust peer-to-peer network that allows real-time interactions and doesn't need to go through the servers, and many other advantages. Just talking about our clients a little bit. So our design partners, we have currently working with about 10 design partners, but we are looking to engage with some more. And just two projects that I wanted to share with you. The first one is with Nexus Studios that are working on augmenting a stadium. They want to add the content during the football game so you can play on top of the field with your iPhones. And also another company called Ludeo, they're working into gamifying the streets of Barcelona, actually. But the idea is to bring all kinds of augmented reality creations into the streets. And there are many others. So these are other companies we work with, and all kinds of other applications and games that were built on top of it. I'm sorry, this you've seen already. I wanted to go here. Yeah. So this, for example, is a game that actually uses the physical environment, and you can work with it. And some others, I know that I have very little time, so I will share this with you later. And maybe just to kind of like finish the talk, I didn't say the word metaverse during the speech so far, but when we think about the metaverse, for us the metaverse is the merging of the digital universe and the physical universe, with many different layers, of course. But the ability to actually make the world around you kind of like a game, enter the game world, I think this is the thing that drives us forward. And as you know, we are not only one that thinks that way, and many other companies, gaming companies and other big tech companies are actually trying to gamify the world. So be happy to talk with you guys and explain, of course, with a little bit more details about what we do and see if we can partner up and do some great things together. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Omri. 오늘 저희가 준비한 발표는 다 마무리를 하였고요. 저희가 사실 폴을 진행하고 있는데요. 관심 있는 기업 있으시면 폴로 미팅 신청해 주시면 제가 따로 연락드리도록 하겠습니다. 그리고 사실 뭐 미팅이라고 생각하시기에 조금 미팅이라고 하시면은 조금 그러실 수도 있는데 편하게 질문사항 있으시면 질의하는 자리가 될 것 같으니까 편하게 미팅 신청해 주시면 제가 연락드리도록 하겠습니다. 다시 한번 바쁘신 시간 참석해 주셔서 너무 감사합니다. Thank you very much for the Asaf Omri guy. So we're gonna finish this online seminar. So once I have any other meetings requests, I will approach to you individually later on. So thank you again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.